way back in 1994, when I first started playing this thing, my parents had to fight me. 5th grade. Had to fight me to practice, like, every day. Every day, after school, after homework, I was forced to practice for at least a half hour of real practice time. None of stopping and pondering what song I was going to play, because I tried that one. So, they would force me to practice. By the time I got to 9th grade, oh, by the way, 5th grade, everybody starts playing an instrument, what? 3rd grade for strings, 4th grade for, what, this kind of stuff? So, 5th grade, I started. My grandfather gave me the saxophone. I dated the serial numbers on here somewhere. I forget exactly where now. Oh, right here. So I dated this thing a couple years ago, just curiosity. See, you know, how much it was worth when it was made. And to date it, it was 1923. Now this was back in, like, 2 years ago. It's 13 now, so it was like 2011. And I found out that this thing would be worth, and the bare minimum, 14 grand. Wouldn't sell it if I was starving under a bridge. But needless to say, I was so good at it back then, I picked up on it fast. That, even though I was the first year, my music teacher put me in the 2nd year. So even though I was the first year, supposed to be with 4th graders, put me in 2nd year with 5th graders. I was really good at it. Harrison Morton, middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th. Bingo. Bang in. 9th grade, I started having a little issues, mental health issues. Part of my testimony, if you go down my wall, you can see the video, my testimony. If you have a half hour, it's quite interesting for you to read. So I'm not going to get into any of that at the time. But I was bullied. Somebody who was 10th grade at the time, I was freshman, he was sophomore. He used to make fun of me, make fun of my saxophone, you know, call me names, yada, yada, yada. So I would regress into these psychotic episodes, and it got to the point where I was missing so much school. And then when I came back, my parents and the school dropped band because they thought it was a huge stressor for me. So I was like, great, don't have to practice, don't have to do this, did that, and that. And I only took this thing out of the closet periodically once or twice in my school career. And I was sitting in a closet over there. I moved a couple times, so it was in that particular closet. But my brother tried to play it, didn't have a knack for it, didn't care, whatever, I don't know. But so this thing sat in the closet. And recently I felt a strong urge in my soul. I am now a born-again Christian, and I believe this is a gift God has given me from early on. And not just my grandfather handed me the saxophone, but the fact that, you know, I had so much talent back then to be able to play it so quick. I do have a knack for music. I do pick up things quickly. So, I feel convicted that I don't use the gift. So I'm trying, this is day 2. Now yesterday I just kind of had some extra time, pulled it out of the closet, just to see if I could get it to work. Sounded like the dying goose, couldn't maneuver the notes. So today, I pulled it out, started playing it, and I actually got through Mary Had a Little Lamb. Now it sounds as big, but it's great. It is. So, further ado, I'm going to try to play it right now onto this little informational background video about myself. So I'm going to play hopefully it doesn't squeak. But if it does, I'll keep going. So that way you can, and I can mark my progress. So that way maybe next week, when I'm on like day 7 or day 8, day 9, I'll pull it out again, play it, and it sounds even better. So that way I can say, this really is making progress. Without further ado, here we go. Do it again. Almost. Do it again. awesome. Now, one thing I said to my mom yesterday, I was like, back in 1994 when I was in 5th grade, computers were like, what, how big? Like this big, and they had floppy disks that were like this big, and they didn't even have PCs back then. They were just kind of an idea, Bill Gates said. Windows 95 came out a year later. But anyway, so, right? I had no incentive. I was forced. You need to practice. Think of Elton John. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I was going to be famous, right? Anyways, I said to my mom, if I had one of these when I was a kid, iPad, I might have actually wanted to practice. There was this really cool app on it I found yesterday. And you can't really see it because of the light, but it's some kind of saxophone plus, or I don't even know. I looked at so many of them yesterday, and a lot of them you had to buy. But this one, because at one time I could read music. I could read music, I could read a book. But nowadays, I kind of forget, and I just tried to pull some music, and it's like trying to read a foreign language. So I'm going to have to teach myself some scales and learn again. Now that I just played Mary Had a Little Lamb from memory, because I memorized it from back then. And even though I'm not a pianist, I can play that on the piano, because I learned once I find the G key, that I can play that song. I used to be able to play a piano if I found a G key, knew where it was at, and read the music. I'm restricted now to Mary Had a Little Lamb. So that's how I could play that song. This is the only song I have. You can't do that for people who want to hear Mary Had a Little Lamb in real life. So this app is so cool. You press this little play button here. That's a B. So it shows you where the B is on the scale. And you can play it. Play it again. Surprisingly, this thing still works. But so yeah. So that is my journey. So hopefully in a month, that's how long it took the first time, in a month, I can do this more efficiently. Maybe even read music. But I'm quite the busy person. I have so much extracurricular activities and so forth. But that said, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Again.